As you probably figure, I'm a pretty big fan of Star Trek. And after all, the Voyager model. And of course, I've been collecting the Star Trek Starships by Eagle Moss. Sponsor, not sponsor. And they recently put out some Shuttlecraft. However, the Shuttlecraft themselves fit into my display cabinets very nicely. But the magazines that come with them are a touch small for the A4 folder. No problem. In this video we're going to have a look at my custom-made Star Trek Starships Shuttlecraft folders. Here's one I made earlier. Ooh. Fits inside and has all the Shuttlecraft information you want, double-sided. Let's take a look at how you make one. It's a relatively simple build with only a few components. You're going to need to get yourself one sheet of black A3 card, two A5 pocket pouches, and a reel of double-sided tape. And of course you'll also need a ruler and a scalpel. You can use scissors if you like, but I like the accuracy of a knife in my hands. If we take a look at one of the magazines inside the normal collection, you'll see that they are 28.5 centimeters high. Which means the first thing we need to do is make this piece of A3 card 28.5 centimeters high. Otherwise it's going to look very stupid because it won't actually fit in the folder. Try and get that nice and accurate. And on paper we just cut this down. Remove the flap, and if we now bring our folder back and check it in, it should be exactly the same height as the magazines. If you're slightly too long, just cut a very thin slither off until you're the right length. Okay, so that's step one. Our next step is also fairly fundamentally simple. We need to very carefully and as precisely as possible fold this in half. The reason being, the Star Trek Starships folders use the classic pin system, which means that it needs a spine for the pins to tuck into. And this is going to create that spine. Let's try and make that edge nice and precise. Yeah. Alright, perfect. Next step, we open it back out again, and we're going to grab some double-sided tape. Then we're just going to run a seam down this side, trying to keep it close to the edge. I've gone a little bit wonky there, but it will do. And then we'll just cut that off there. A seam along here. Now it's important to note that you don't want to go all the way to the center. I'm going to leave about an inch away from the center, and that's so that the pin has somewhere to go into, and so that there's a little bit of leeway for the rotation. And one strip down here. Same deal for the bottom pin, about an inch. Peel off the tape. By the tape I mean the backing, of course, not the actual tape, because that would be stupid. Once you've grown some nails so you can actually do this, we're then going to very carefully fold it back down, making sure that we go from the spine inward as even as possible, and then just nice pressure along all the edges, make sure there's a really good bond. As you can see, we've just got that little bit of a gap there for the pin to go into. Put that aside for now and grab our pocket pouches. Our first step is to take our scalpel and safter ruler, and we're just going to go ahead and cut the pocket pouch, part of the pocket pouch, off. Apologies if that was out of focus for this entire time. So, it's important that you make sure you cut it on the white side of the pocket pouch And make sure you don't cut too close to the join, because if you accidentally cut too far, this entire edge will just flap open. So you need to make sure you leave that seam intact. And we'll just open it out to make sure we haven't broken it, and as you can see that's one perfect pouch. And we'll do that again for the second one. One for each side face of the card. There we are. If you can get the A5 pouches without any side bit to them, go for it. I couldn't. So that's good use of A5 pocket pouches. Not that you'd tend to have A5 pocket pouches lying around because they're not exactly the standard size. Anyway, next step. The next step is to take our double-sided tape and prepare these for mounting. I've measured these out beforehand. I want a strip of about 21 centimeters long, and I want 2 of those, one on each side. I don't need to put a strip in top and bottom, so I'm just going to go ahead, measure out 21 centimeters, bam, 2, 3, 4. Then, making sure we're placing this nice and flat, we're just going to drop nice and close to the edge, not all the way at the edge, but just as close as is comfortable. Place one strip, a second, and on the second pouch, careful, third, that's a little close. Perfect. So those are our pouches prepared. So now we just need to add them to our piece of card. Go ahead and remove the backing for one of your faces. Make sure your spine is on the left hand side, which it is, and that the top of your pouch, where it opens up, is aligning to the top, because if our left is here, we want our top to be up here. Otherwise stuff will just fall out every time you pick the folder up. Then if you want to measure it out and do it more accurately you can, but I'm quite happy with just eyeballing it and making sure it's nice and straight. Slap it on, nice bit of pressure, make sure it's bonded nicely. The double-sided tape will be basically invisible behind the pocket pouch. Flip it over, and down. And now, all we have to do is put it into the folder. Slip this bad boy onto the bottom pin, slip this bad boy onto the top pin. This can be a little awkward with all the other magazines in it, but I'm sure you will manage. Lock that down, and there we are. You may find that they're a little resistant to turning, but once they've been worked a little bit, they do ease up. I'll just go ahead, grab issue number 3. And issue number 4. Perfect. And now these magazines can be safe contained within my special edition folder. Yes, my friends, it is as cool as it looks. And yes, ladies, I'm single.